Hello everyone, happy Sunday. It is a glorious day because I said so. I am Melissa Steele, real estate agent extraordinaire, and as you guys know, host of Melissa's Musings. And we're talking about a very simple topic today, but one that became clear to me this past week. Ideas without execution are truly delusions. And I read that this week and it resonated with me because I've been struggling with one of my goals. So earlier this year, John and I set goals, as we always do at the start of the year, and I was very excited about mine, very passionate about my goal setting, as you guys know. And thank you guys for rolling on in. I see a bunch of you joining in here. Tom, Michelle, Katie, it's good to see you. Hi, guys. So we're just talking, we're rocking and rolling, about to start talking about why ideas without execution are delusions and what that really means. So the goal that I am referring to is my exercise goal. I want to get back into my yoga habit and I want to go a minimum of 4 times a week. So it's a very smart goal. It is measurable and achievable. I can absolutely crush 4 days of yoga a week. I would ideally like to do more, but 4 is very reasonable. And thanks, guys. I see those hearts rolling in, all that explosion of love and gloriousness that I love you guys for, so keep it coming. So my yoga habit, it's something I am very excited to do this year. I am eager to have it on my goal sheet, and this past week I struggled with it because my idea without execution was a delusion. So really, when you want to experience success in a goal, you get to plan to make that goal happen. You get to put it on the calendar, you get to create the space, you get to create the time. If you want to make it happen, you get to do that. But you need to figure out what steps get to happen and what ideas need to be implemented and executed so that that idea that you have and that goal that you've set doesn't just become a delusion. And for me, that's exactly what happened with yoga this week, because I set my goals, I was like rocking and rolling through life, and every single day this week, I'd pull up my yoga app, and every available class I had a meeting during, or a prior engagement, like either a meeting or a property showing or an appointment at my house or whatever it looked like. Literally every day when I opened my yoga app, I was like, shoot, I'm not going to get to yoga today. And what I realized, the little light bulb went off when I read this quote the other day, I was like, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have an execution in place for myself to be successful with the goal. I didn't set myself up for success. And you and I both know full well that unless we set ourselves up for success, it is very easy to talk ourselves out of the goal or that new habit, especially when it's new, because it's very difficult to jump in and do new things and to make them habitual. So going into this week, as soon as I realized what was happening about mid last week, I think it was like Wednesday, I was like 4 days into my week, like, okay, I haven't been to yoga. I'm not crushing my 4 times a week goal. What's in the gap? And I think it was like Wednesday when I was like, okay, clearly the way that I've set myself up for success, the execution of my idea was not well implemented, so I get to create an improvement. The first thing I thought of was, you're making excuses. You could easily do this via YouTube in the living room. So one, I had an excuse. I had a story. Because I could have kept the yoga goal, but I really want to go to the studio. So that's a whole nother thing. But I made an excuse. 2, this week, I literally calendared it. So as soon as I realized on Wednesday what was happening with my goal setting and with the unsuccessfulness of my goal, the delusion of the idea that I had of going to yoga 4 times, I literally put it on the calendar for this week. So I penciled it in. I literally put it on the calendar every day this week. I'm allotting for in case things happen. So I literally put it on the calendar for all 7 days this week starting tomorrow. I have booked accordingly. So like I've booked around that yoga schedule. And right now, as long as nothing else comes up, I realistically could get to 7 days of yoga this week. So my idea has been well executed, and therefore I will not be delusional about its success this week. I'm going to get to yoga. So you heard it here first. I'm declaring it. I will be going. It's gonna happen, my friends. I'm hitting 4 times this week. And it just made me think, like, if there are already gaps in your goal setting, already gaps that you're seeing in the habits you want to be creating for yourself, this is the perfect time to nip that shit in the bud and recognize where you're falling short so that you can shift real quick and get back in gear. It is not the time of year where you want to just start procrastinating and delaying addressing the fact that you aren't doing these goals, because now is really the opportune time. You're on day 13 of the new year. So if you continue to not do the goals for the next 2 weeks, let's say, think about how much harder it is going to be starting to make those habits a reality a month into procrastinating and not doing them in the first place. So if that's where you're at in some of your goals and you've been struggling to hit them hard, think about the idea of maybe you're lacking in the execution piece, the actual planning portion of the goal that you've set. So hope that's helpful. If you've got some time this evening, I encourage you to touch base on your goals and see where you might be able to grow this week and challenge yourself. Love you guys. Hope you're having a great Sunday and talk to you soon.